held up spears and lances for them to fall upon. There were so many of these fires in the course of the night that the whole sky was illuminated, and at one time there was danger that the flames would spread so as to produce a general conflagration. Indeed, as the night passed on, the excitement became more and more violent, until at length the streets, in all the quarters where Jews resided, were filled with the shouts of the mob, raving in demoniacal frenzy, and with the screams of the terrified and dying sufferers, and the crackling of the lurid flames in which they were burning. The king, in the meantime, was carousing with his lords and barons in the great banqueting hall at Westminster, and for a time took no notice of these disturbances. He seemed to consider them as of very little moment. At length, however, in the course of the night, he sent an officer and a few men to suppress the riot. But it was too late. The mob paid no heed to the remonstrances which came from the leader of so small a force, but, on the other hand, threatened to kill the soldiers too, if they did not go away. So the officer returned to the king, and the riot went on undisturbed until about 2 o'clock of the next day, when it gradually ceased from the mere weariness and exhaustion of the people. A few of the men who had been engaged in this riot were afterward brought to trial, and 3 were hung, not for murdering Jews, but for burning some Christian houses which, either by mistake or accident, took fire in the confusion, and were burned with the rest. This was all that was ever done to punish this dreadful crime. In justice to King Richard, however, it must be stated that he issued an edict after this, forbidding that the Jews should be injured or maltreated any more. He took the whole people, he said, thenceforth, under his special protection, and all men were strictly forbidden to harm them personally, or to molest them in the possession of their property. And this was the terrible coronation scene which signalized the investiture of Richard with the crown and the royal robes of England. End of chapter 5.